Welcome to our audience in Italy, Albania, and abroad. We are listening to us now, and to those we will listen later, the recording of this interview. I'm Daniele Taurino, the director of Flumen Festival, a youth-led initiative organized by Movimento Nonviolenza, Io Noi Volunteering Association, and the Library for Nonviolence. Maybe for the people we doesn't know how, is needed an explanation for the name Flumen. Also maybe for Dafina too. Flumen is the Latin term for river, but is not only a clear reference for the Tiber, the river which flows here in Fiumicino near Rome, but also contain the word lumen, that it means a light, a flame of hope in our intention, a hope in change that we want to keep alive and let flow among people and generation. I'm really honored and happy today to be with Dafina Peci for this conversation, this informal conversation for the pre-festival of this year, that is the third edition of Flumen Festival of Ecology, Nonviolent and Migration. The live edition, it will be from Friday, 3rd September to 5th of September, Sunday in Fiumicino. But now we have this for online conversation with people that inspiring us with their work for our cooperation. Dafina Peci holds the position of the Secretary General for National Youth Congress of Albania, an umbrella organization of more than 100 youth organizations. She holds a bachelor degree on political science, another one in international relations, and a master of science degree in regional policy and security. She, as well as realized a specialization on post-conflict security establishment, peace building, and mediation. Since 2017, she is as well engaged as professor assistant on the classic and contemporary political philosophy in the University of Tirana. She has also been engaged in the working group to establish Regional Youth Cooperation Office, and she held for 3 years the position of Albanian youth representative in the governing board of this structure. I say everything, Dafina, because since 2017, Dafina is also my friend, because we met at the European Youth Forum Assembly and start our cooperation. So thank you, Dafina, to be here with us.
Thank you, Daniele. It's my pleasure for not only for our cooperation, for this invitation, but most of all for our friendship, because in the end of the day, except goals that we are working systematically to fulfill, we have this human-to-human connection, which is very important. So I'm very happy that you are having me today, and I want to congratulate you for the festival, for the spirit that it has, and for the mission that is, let's say, willing to accomplish.
So, Dafina, let's get straight to the point. I invited you to let know to the people also in Italy, in Rome, one more about Tirana Youth Capital, European Youth Capital. The European Youth Capital title is a prestigious one. It's an initiative promoted by European Youth Forum. I remember the joy in Amiens when the title was announced for Tirana in 2022. But how we start this amazing path?
Actually, it's true. The Tirana European Youth Capital 2022 is the news for the moment, and it has been for quite long, since 2019, when we, it was announced basically in Amiens, and of course we started our journey much earlier, because it was a huge work behind to go through the preparations and make a proper application, especially when it comes to involving young people and involving youth organizations and experts to give their contribution to this title. And actually, it has been very enriching for us, and it has indicated our everyday work, because now it looks like we have a new impulse towards the near future. Of course, it is not easy at all to manage all the resources and work on the preparations, but we have been doing quite well so far. As you might know, or maybe there are some listeners which do not know much upon the title. The title is an endorsement coming from European Youth Forum, and is trying to, to value or revalue the power of young people working in different cities across Europe. It's a manifestation of young people's needs and their efforts to improve their life, the life of community, the sector itself, and to leave some legacy behind the accomplishment of the titles here. So I'm very proud and very happy to have Tirana as one of the successful cities in this journey, and the National Youth Congress as a partner of the municipality of Tirana to help and to support the implementation of the program. We have been working on building capacities of the youth organizations and the team in order to have everything on track before the title knocks at our door. And we are on the way. It is important to have all of us in the same page. It is important, of course, also as an organization to reach a certain maturity when it comes to managing in terms of operations and programming. You know how it is. I mean, the title is something extraordinary and it puts a lot of pressure, professional pressure, and we need to deliver in the best way possible. Young people in Tirana and also all over Albania, because Albania is a small country, so people are much near to one another, and our population, it's not that big. So most of the young people are located in Tirana. Most of the young people which do live in Albania are very keen on and looking forward to get the best out of around 1,000 activities which will be held from 1 January 2022 till 31st of December. So the idea behind is not only to have an implementation of huge activities which do provide opportunities for young people, but is also to serve as a granting scheme for youth organizations, youth movements, and individuals with great ideas in the main 8 topics that we will cover through the year.
Yeah, the goal is to build a legacy for young people in Albania, but not only for the Western Balkans, for Europe, hopefully. But before this first round of activity, how the preparation is going, what are the points of criticity, and what are the elements of positivity, of the optimism in this preparation world?
Yeah. Let's start with the challenges and with those things which we don't usually talk about. The fact that this title is being held by a public institution, it has a political connotation as well. So it's always perceived in 2 sides. It guarantees sustainability because you are working closely with a public institution such as the municipality, but on the other hand, we should manage our relation in the best way possible, not to be politically affected or affiliated. This is something we are working on as a team to have, let's say, cooperation and mutual understanding of our positions. On the other hand, I cannot skip talking about the COVID-19 pandemic, how it has affected our preparation phase and how it might affect the implementation year. I feel so sorry when I think about those 2 cities which did have their title on 2019 and 2022, because for sure it has affected many aspects of the face-to-face activities and many aspects of their original programming. And I really hope that we'll find a way to invite those in our year in a way or another to cooperate, to create synergies. But I also hope, firstly, for the sake of the health of our citizens, not only in Albania, but across the world, to have a better year and not to go through the experience that we went lately. I think that we have shown solidarity, but still, I think it was not at the level to be satisfied. And I really hope that this year will be a year of solidarity and improvement. And I really hope that we will overcome the challenges of COVID-19. In this regard, in terms of preparation, we are considering 2 scenarios, at least for the first part of the year. A third challenge, which I would like to talk about, is having a cohesion among different youth structures, youth movements, young people, which are from different backgrounds, might have different levels of being engaged and capacities, to have them on the same path and make them feel the importance of this title and equip them with the tools they need to perform and to invest themselves during this year. And of course, by the end, to take the benefits of it. It is not easy because, as you know, youth organizations in general do lack sustainability and do lack all the resources that they need to function in the best way and to go further with their original mission. And we will try to be simple and fair in the way how we will approach them in order to make it more easier for them and to create an enabling environment for them to bloom during that year.
Yeah, thanks to your answer, we are trying to put away one of the more recurrent prejudice in the youth work and youth and about youth organization. Many people think that when they see a youth-led initiative, or there is some organization from the up that organize everything, and the young people are only the appearance on the stage, or that this youth-led initiative happens spontaneously. Yeah, okay, from one day to another. Okay, from your words, I'm very happy that all the people can feel the passionate way, but also the hard work that is needed to do something like the European title, but also for the ordinary work of the youth organization in our countries. And this is very important to understand for everyone. Also, in the perspective to give us more support in our lack of resources and so on. So in the designing of the project of the title, you and your team are individuate some pillars to empower during this year. What are these pillars and why we choose them?
Actually, choosing the pillars has been a result of many consultations. The biggest consultation was in May 2019, when more than 100 young people were gathered in a very structured conference, working conference, if I might call it like that, to give their thoughts and their suggestions and shape the program scale, let's say. And those 8 pillars that we have chosen as the main ones to be invested during the 2022 has been, let's say, combination between those pillars which are treated in the National Youth Strategy of governmental National Youth Strategy that we do have as an official, let's say, document. It's also based on the European Youth Strategy, but also in what young people thought that is a priority or is something that we need to work more and put more efforts in. These 8 pillars consist on employability and innovation, improvement of education, formal and non-formal, investing more in public spaces for young people, diversity, youth diversity is one of the pillars, and a very important one. Youth are Europeans, youth eco-health, which tries to promote sustainable development and healthy lifestyle for young people, including here also sports and different recreation activities which young people could, follow more in the daily life, in their everyday life. We have Youth Creates Culture, which tries not only to empower them in terms of knowledge and experience, but also to enable them with some activities which do teach them upon cultural heritage and seeing it in the bigger perspective, not only in close circle, but also in, let's say, regional level and European level as well, and how important is culture as a component for a political development. I think I mentioned most of them. Volunteering is one of the, let's say, issues, pillars, which has been highlighted by young people. And of course, there is also one pillar which has been required to stand there because we still need a lot of efforts to improve it, is the participation in decision making. Maybe not through the classical means, which we try to impose by laws, by structures, but participation in a meaningful way, which stands more on political education and making young people member or part of circles where big decisions are being discussed. Maybe being young doesn't equip you naturally with the proper experience, but doesn't mean that you don't have the intuition and very good thoughts and tips that the elder ones should listen sometimes more.
Yeah, very, very good point. Among pillars, you also quote mentioning the sustainability. My organization, Movimento Nonviolenza, and yours, the National Youth Congress of Albania, cooperated in a European project, Erasmus+1, that is called Mediterranean Youth versus Climate Crisis. And this is about the connection between ecology and non-violence.
Mm-hmm.
How is at the moment the perception of the climate crisis among the youngest generation in Tirana, in the Albania, and was the goal through the initiative of the European Youth Capital to empower, to improve, to make initiative in this field?
Mm-hmm. Firstly, I'm very happy that we are both cooperating in that project. I have perceived from the last tour, the last visit that young people from here had in Italy, in Fiumicino, that they came back not only more informed and knowledgeable, but also more sensitive. And I think that in a way or another, these kind of activities do touch upon our thoughts and our hearts. The classic educational system here lacks a lot of, let's say, practicity. And talking about climate change, talking about environment, must be, brought in a more practical way. Young people should be more educated in a practical way about the environment around and about the consequences that we are facing nowadays and what kind of consequences might other generations face. I don't have a study to refer to, a proper study, but I can bring you the example of National Youth Congress program with Friedrich Ebert Foundation here in Albania, which consists in the socio-ecological transformation in different localities. We have been working with 12 municipalities. And by the research being done for this proper program, we have understood that not only the educational system, but also the local institutions, which do have environmental protection as one of the top priorities in their policy scheme, policy cycle, they do lack knowledge, data, resources, and strategic plans to better invest, let's say, their money, the taxpayers' money, but also to make a kind of orientation for the business community towards some values and some standards which need to be respected. And we are now conducting a survey for young people's opinion about several matters, but the survey has not been completed yet. We are on the process, and on September we'll have the data analysis process, and I would be very happy to share with you the feedback from 12 municipalities, 12 regions in Albania, just to give you an overview how the situation is here. But for now, I cannot share because it still is not being processed.
But we have the final conference of this project in Tirana in October.
Yes,
it will be a great moment to share and to launch.
Yes, to share and also to have a comprehensive approach with you, but also with other countries involved in this wonderful project that we are developing together. And seeing that the system actually, not only the system in terms of educational system, but also the institutions and the media is not so sensitive in these issues, in these topics, we decided to give a dedicated pillar to eco-health. And there are going to be hundreds of activities dedicated for that pillar, but also several very good projects funded, which try to put young people as front runners on promoting the sustainable development and the prevention of climate crisis. I don't know if we are now in the stage to prevent anything, but I'm for sure happy to see initiatives which prevent further damage, which can be caused by various reasons. Here, Albania is a very, beautiful country, and it has a lot of potential also for, let's say, that kind of tourism which is connected with the nature and different species that we do have here. And I would say that it somehow I think it's up to the young people, up to those which are very young, to be the protectors, the guardians of this, because logically they are going to stay longer with what we have, and the responsible ones for handing it over to the next generations. I think that education upon environment should be a top priority of the classical educational system, but also we as civil society circles, youth organizations should use media more to talk about this and to go more in depth.
You know that in a conversation with me, it can't miss a question about peace. So is articulated in two ways. One, from the tragic news from Afghanistan, we see that the most violence and most difficulties are faced by the young people and the young women especially. And the other aspect is also that are now 30 years from the war of the Western Balkans. How in Albania especially is the perception of peace as a positive one, not only the mere positive of war and violence, but a positive approach to life, to change our lifestyles. And in this framework, how are the potentiality to implement the UN resolution 2250 about youth peace and security?
Yeah. Actually, Daniel, I think the current developments in Afghanistan have been touching upon our societies in a very, let's say, unexpected way, but is a paradox not to expect situations when we all are aware of what has been happening there for decades. And I'm very happy here today to be knowledgeable for the fact that Albanian country and Albanian people have started to be more sensitive and are welcoming the Afghan refugees. And at least in this case, we are trying to do as much as we can. And I think there is a lot to be done to increase this sense of responsibility of what happens beyond your borders. And I think this is also another very important issue. As you know, I have been studying and I have some experiences in post-conflict countries in the Balkan Peninsula, and also very sensitive let's say, in an academic aspect also for the conflict resolution in Western Balkans. Albania, as a country, as a state, has been, let's say, a little bit more detached from the ex-Yugoslavian countries, and perceiving the conflict from the Albanian youngsters might be different from, let's say, Bosnian youngsters, youngsters from Kosovo, from Serbia, from North Macedonia. But still, we have, let's say, a taste of what has happened, and I think that the importance of peace is always understood in the absence of it, and this is the let's say the worst part, the difficult part. Peace is much deeper than what we are used to learn about. It's not only the absence of stability, but also is the struggle of the thoughts that you might not have it in a certain moment. And I think that when we talk about peace, we don't have to see it only, let's say, in terms of a conflict among two states or two countries or two societies, but it's also about kind of sustainability and security that you must feel and have as a citizen in a free and democratic world. And I'm not sure how much young people here in Albania do feel that kind of peace within them. Trying to change something in a superficial way, trying to manipulate data, guaranteeing a developed economical system does not guarantee you the pure peace. And this is what we are feeling or understanding nowadays, even in the case of Afghanistan. We have seen there how things have changed through the years, and you do understand that if you haven't worked with the young generations to fully understand what they are going through and the power that they have, then every investment that you might do in a superficial way will be drawn by the change of context and by the change of by the change of some relations or some interests that might occur in the moment and give completely another picture from one week to another, or from one day to another. So what I'm trying to say is that if we want to have peace, we should think about it in the days that we have it, in order not to lose it. And this is something that it cannot be done in a classical way, let's say, but it can be done by educating young people to be politically responsible, politically strong, knowledgeable, and inspire them to participate in an active way and embrace the values. I was listening to a testimonial of some young people about peace and security, and it was a girl with a sentence that it caused a certain feeling to me. She said, being smart, being intelligent, being knowledgeable, and being avant-garde doesn't mean that you are a value for your society. And to illustrate this, she mentioned the cyber pirates, those people which use violence in the way they are smart. They know how to do things, and they are maybe more avant-garde in comparison with the others. But on the other hand, they use all that capacity to damage someone else's psychology, image, and future. So she said, let's work on that. Let's work on that, because people must understand that equipping your child, your friend, your pupil, your student with with abilities to perform or to be successful doesn't mean that you are giving him or her the values to be a contribution, to be an asset of the society. So in this case, I would say that we need to work more and to be more sensible in terms of security, to understand security not only as the face of the military, but to understand security as a must for our living, starting from what we consume, starting from how we live, the lifestyle we have, starting from the way how the relations with others are built, starting from the institutions that are there to respond to our crisis needs or abusement that might happen in a certain moment. And then going to the, let's say, higher steps till we reach, hopefully not, the military concept. Because what I have perceived from young people is that when talking about security, this is the first thing which crosses their mind. Yeah. And security
is not change this narrative to the militarized security to a human security, but I would say also more to a planet security, no? Let's say. Yeah, we were talking about the European title, but what are also the goals, the objective that you would like to achieve in the next year at the head of the National Youth Congress of Albania?
I'd say that firstly, I would like to have a strong and inspired and very active team. And when I say team, I don't mean only the structures that we do have, the assembly, the board, and the secretariat, but also I consider the team, the partners across the country, but also across the region and Europe, to be with us in various ways and to cherish with us what we have achieved so far and to make it bigger and have a bigger impact. I would like very much to see, hopefully in a better year compared with this one that we went through, to see more exchange and mobility projects, to have the opportunity for young people to meet each other more and to have this, let's say, direct connection with one another and give them an opportunity to see beyond the societies where they used to grow and where they used to grow their mind as well, because moving around gives you a perspective that you cannot have otherwise. So firstly, as I said, I want to see a stronger and a more connected team ready to face the challenges and to go through all those activities that we have planned so carefully, make the most of it. Secondly, I would like to have a certain, let's say, significant role in some European level discourse about younger generation, about sustainability of our societies and about what has been invested so far in European level. I would like to see a stronger voice, not only coming from Albania, which is a country in progress and looking forward to become part of EU family, but also from the whole Western Balkan region. Thirdly, I would look forward to have, let's say, a stronger affiliation among the structure that I work with and for, and other, let's say, circles or stakeholders within the country, because things cannot be achieved alone. We are lucky to be in the developing process as a country, and there are so many things that we can improve. And I would like to see the structures that I work with in a more, let's say, dedicated approach towards structured dialogue and co-working for joint solution with the institutions, with the business community, with media, and with all other relevant stakeholders, especially universities and research institutions, to create or to co-create or to co-rethink the way how we function in order to make young people have a reason more to stay in the country and contribute for our society. I think this is something we need to reflect more. It's nothing wrong with how things maybe went till now, but I think it's always a space in the room to rethink the way how we are functioning. And jointly, I think we can make some changes more faster and in a more substantial way.
It's really important how many times you are aligning the core words. So we need to cooperate, to co-create, to co-design, to work jointly together. No important goals and change in our society could be reached without working together. This is a truth. It's simple, but it's hard to implement in everyday life because we are.
It's true. It's true. And since there are a lot, maybe young people which are listening to us, I also find the opportunity to thank you personally and your organization because art of doing things, it's also an art inspired by culture and experience. And I think we should be open to learn from one another. And we have learned a lot from you, and we have to learn more. I mean, it's something mutual. And art is beautiful from wherever it comes. It has its own flavor, and it can help. So maybe we are not so experienced in certain processes, and we are eager to learn and to improve. And also, in a certain moment, you might need advice, support, or assistance from our side. And that's the beauty of it, being open and having the opportunity to learn from one another. This is something which we should also educate the next generations, that it's nothing wrong to seek for help and to be more, to have that kind of compassion and to support and to share from your art, from your culture, from your art of doing things, and from your culture and from your knowledge with the other.
Thank you, Dafina. It's a mutual thanking, and also the point is it doesn't matter only how many things we are able to achieve, to implement, to realize in our work or in our life, but also how we decide to do in a way that is available for others, for society, that is an asset of value for our communities, and this is our way to live, to live our life. So we are going to end this conversation, and I would like to ask you a message for the young people that are organized this third edition of Flumen Festival, but also for the public that we hope come in a very numerous way from the 3rd to 5th of September in Fiumicino. And to give you short time to think, I get the occasion also to invite our audience about the peace perception in Western Balkans that we mentioned before, to reach out on website and read the results of our research of the RYCO, Regional Youth Cooperation Office, that is called Shared Futures. It's a very good one. And I also can announce that our last issue of the Nonviolent Action magazine, Nazionali Nonviolenza, is related to the 30th anniversary of the Western Balkan Wars, starting from the Peace Caravan initiative by Alexander Lange. I give you time, so the floor is yours to give the message.
I want to give a beautiful message, actually, to keep it positive, because this is the mission of messages. I would say that the way to feel peaceful, to feel sustainable, and to feel happy is a long, long way. And a human being, a woman or a man, cannot achieve everything on its own and cannot make a closed cycle in its own life. And that is fine. I mean, we should make peace with it. What is important is that we have brought some things till this far in a positive way, and we leave space for others to continue this journey by keeping the values. And I think this is something that I want to say to those which are listening to us. Make room, make space, build ways for those which are coming after us. And we have completed our mission. It's always important to think on what we do today as something that is going to continue, is going to leave its marks, no matter if we are there or not, no matter if we have stopped thinking about it or not. So put more thoughts on what you do and think that this is, let's say, a part of a very, very long way and long journey.
Thank you, Dafina, for your inspiring words. It's very important for us to were able to organize and to implement this third edition despite the COVID situation and all these crazy years, to not stop our journey, our long path in violence, sustainability, and solidarity issues. I want to thank you again, also for all the National Youth Congress of Albania, and I wish you all the success in the European Youth Capital title. But we are here in the mirror to support you. But we'll see also in Tirana soon. But I invite also all young people in Rome, in Italy, from Fiumicino, to go to Tirana if it will be possible in 2022. To visit the cities, to participate to the initiative, to share good practice, and come back here to implement and spread these ones. With all the audience, we can see tomorrow with two other great guests, Franco Mussida, one of the best musicians and guitarists in the world, and Federico Faloppa from the University of Reading to talk about hate speech. So thank you, Dafina. Thank you all the public, and we'll see in the Flumen initiative. Bye.
Thank you very much, Daniele. Goodbye.